So welcome to another Creative Spin podcast. Today, again, with the one and only, the amazing, the wonderful, the spectacular Anna Fernandez Iria.
Hi. You need to start changing that because it's... Where's my coffee?
So, listen, this is basically just a mug with a drop of coffee. Because I was recording some other stuff before and I kind of drank the whole thing and it's just on the table. This wasn't even planned. I want everybody at home to understand this, that she sat down and she goes, so what are we talking about again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I basically just got home.
Yeah, we kind of, I wouldn't say we, I would say I should plan things a little bit better. Agreed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I also am of the opinion that sometimes when you just hit record, things just happen.
True, very true.
And things just flow a little bit better than if you plan way too much. And the bottom line is that I had an idea, I had something that I wanted to talk about. You were here, we still had the thing set up, and I said, why the heck aren't we just gonna hit record and just get it recorded? That's the bottom line, right?
Hey.
So, in today's episode of Creative Spin Podcast, for your information and everybody at home, or in the car, or walking the dog, or on the treadmill, we'll be talking about why you should definitely share information, right? Because it's happening more and more. I like the way that things are going. And as an old guy behind the mic here, I want to bring in a little bit of the bad, quote unquote, experience that I had before when I started my business 15 years ago. And sharing was not the word of the day. Let's just put it that way. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on now, what happened before, how we fixed everything, where we should be going. And this is going to be a high energy level podcast because I just had like 3 shots of espresso and I'm good to go. So hit the intro. Today's podcast is brought to you by Workplace One, a company offering boutique private offices, co-working spaces, and virtual office solutions, as well as meeting rooms in the best neighborhoods of Toronto and Kitchener-Waterloo. Ideal for entrepreneurs, companies, and passionate business people. Workplace One is where you want to be with your business. For more information, go over to workplaceone.com. And we're back. Oh man, I think the mic is loud.
No, you're loud.
I'm loud? Okay, I'll just stand back. Way back over here. People that are just listening to this podcast are like, what the heck is going on with the sound volume? And yeah, things aren't...
We're just testing it.
We're just testing things out. So we're going to talk about creativity and how people are sharing creativity more and more today and how and why that is a good thing. Like that?
I do. I absolutely do.
I'm asking you this because you had no clue what we were going to talk about.
No.
But I love this. I love the fact, listen, the whole Creative Spin podcast theory of mine was I want to get people in here and have conversations. I don't believe in getting questions ready and getting answers ready and all of that.
That kind of defeats the podcast idea.
It does defeat it. And it's no longer a conversation, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that if you come in and sometimes if you don't know what the heck is going on, the conversation is going to... Oh, come on. It's only 90% of the time. I think conversations just flow better when it's like that. So this podcast actually came to be because I was in another podcast this morning with Jared, which we should have another video.
You were the guest.
Links. I was the guest. Yes, I was the guest. I had to behave myself because I would see over here. They're my rules, and I do whatever I want. But there, I had to behave myself. And one of the things that came up, like we spoke a lot about creativity, a lot about because he's also a designer and videographer and photographer. So he's into the creative side of things as well. So, a lot of the things that we spoke about were around those topics. And one of the things I said wisely, because of old age and gray hair, was that I really like the way that people are now sharing creativity, right? They're sharing what they know. They're sharing their knowledge, their experiences, their good, their bad experiences, and how that is great for people to grow and grow quicker. Now, when we started, when I was a kid, back in the day, when I started my company, it was just me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
And
which is interesting. Like, what has okay, back then when you started, it was the I can still hear myself.
Yeah, but that way is better. See, the microphone pointing at your mouth is better.
There was this perception that you couldn't share your secrets, for lack of a better word. That
I felt like everybody was playing poker.
Yeah, and it's like, no, because you're in my field, you're against me, and you're stealing my clients, and you're this, and you're that, and you heard that a lot.
There was a lot of that,
and I remember going through that as well with my projects. So, what has made people realize that was actually not the best approach to think? Was it like these new platforms that we have?
Absolutely. My theory is that with all of these platforms that we now have in social media, this has basically opened the gates for us to be able to share information, and anybody can share information. I think before, whenever you wanted to engage with somebody within your circle of work, you would have to go, I don't know, you'd have to go to a seminar, you have to go to a get together or whatever it may be. And let's just be honest, even today, it's not easy to just go into a room full of people and just start speaking your mind, but it's easier to grab a camera and start saying what you have to say. And that's why I think it was difficult for people to get together in that type of environment and share information. You're laughing because nobody at home actually knows what happened.
No, go on.
That camera's battery is in my hands right now. Oh gosh, the adventures we have here in the studio. When you're in a let's say a workshop, you're probably listening to somebody speak. There are groups here and there. It is very difficult for you to share information. Like, okay, as a designer, let's say as an example, if I wanted to share anything that I do in Photoshop or Illustrator, InDesign or video, whatever it may be, I can't really do that if I'm not in front of the computer. But now people have cameras and they can record their screen and they can voice over what they're doing and explain what they're doing. If I figure out a shortcut to something or a filter or whatever it may be that I want to share with the world, now it's so much easier for me to, just switch one of these guys on and record my computer and then explain what I did, and boof. Yeah. All of a sudden it's out on YouTube and it's out to the world. Anybody that's looking for that particular solution or is looking at anything new to do with that particular problem or program that I've put on, then they have it right there in their hands.
And in a way, the fears from the past, we are proving now that they really made no sense, because now we're sharing all this information and we are still successful. We are still able to function.
I think people now realize that the world is bigger than their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think before, the neighborhood was it.
Dictated.
And it was kind of it, because you couldn't really go outside
your wings,
so easily, right? Now, I mean, we've had clients from the States, from Europe, from everywhere. So it's like, we're not stuck to a neighborhood. We're not stuck to a city or country or anything like that anymore. So we can go wherever we want. So that completely opens your market. So that fear of, I'm not going to say this because nobody, they're going to find out my secret and they're going to run with it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this is almost like a chef that has this outstanding recipe and shares it. You can never make the dish quite like he or she does, right?
But to your point, that's back in the day, chef would ever give their recipe.
And yet it's proven that that's what actually makes them famous, because you're going to say, well, I just made this and it was Jamie's recipe, or it was Anna's recipe, or whatever. But
probably not this Jamie Oliver, probably.
he is one
okay.
I do look. But see, I was going to give you some credit.
I know.
but,
I know. I mean, us Jamies, we are very cook-oriented.
But I think that
But it's
ultimately,
it's the sharing.
yeah, and ultimately you are you have a way of, I always say, I work with great teachers. We're all great, but we're also different.
Exactly.
And it doesn't mean that it doesn't get delivered. It just gets delivered in a different way.
Yep.
And the more you share, and I love it when we have teacher candidates at school, because I always ask them, so what are we learning these days in university? Are there different approaches to what we're teaching? And sometimes you're like, never thought of that. Look at this. Like
something new.
Really great ideas come along, right? And so I feel like it's the same thing everywhere you go, in every career. And I agree with you. The more, the merrier, because you can really filter through what you like, what you think is of value, and what you feel like it's not. You just put it aside. But that's like everything else in life,
That's
right?
what they say. Sharing is for the caring. All right. This was a nice, quick little topic that I just wanted to put out there. This is hurting me, man.
I wasn't going to mention it, but now that you said it,
yeah.
what has happened to you?
Fractured finger?
Gee, I wonder why that happened and how.
It's okay. You should have seen the other guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is an issue. I'm actually waiting. I
have to say this because people don't know about it. Don't know this about you. There is something about you and your fingers and toes that you have a tendency of getting hurt easily doing whatever activity ever since I've known you. So no, you do understand.
I don't understand.
It's quite something.
I don't understand.
He does an activity, trust me. It's either fingers or toes.
Yeah, I MacGyvered myself.
It does look like MacGyver style.
A little brace here for the finger to stay straight.
Do people even know who MacGyver is if they're younger than us?
We're probably too damn old, and people don't. If you don't know who MacGyver is, just Google it. Okay,
there's
from
a lot
the
on
80s.
He's awesome.
The guy that would grab a lemon and a pen and would get out of jail. I don't know how, but whatever. So I MacGyvered this to keep my fingers straight. But I am waiting for a finger brace. I just ordered it, and it should be coming in today. So I'll have that nice finger brace here. Doctor said 3 to 6 weeks, not moving this much, and funny enough. Funny enough.
Okay.
I've this happened about 3 weeks ago.
God Almighty.
And I've been like, it kind of hurts a little bit. I'll just keep on going. And then the next day, I think it's getting better. And then the following day.
It never did, because it was looking purple and double its size.
I was trying to get different colors going on in the finger.
Yeah, because it's fall. I get you. I see. Okay.
So,
but purple is really not a fall color, like orange, red, maybe.
After 3 weeks, I said, you know what? Let me go give my doctor a visit and see what he has to say about it.
Halloweenish.
Yeah. So an X-ray later, we've discovered that there's a little bit of a fracture going on. So I have to take care of this.
A little bit of a fracture. It's fractured.
Something like that.
Euphemisms.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you for being here with us on the Creative Spin podcast.
My pleasure.
For another great episode in which we just sat down with nothing planned and look what came out.
I know.
You see, this is why I keep telling people that are listening, that are watching us,
just
record. If you want to do stuff, just do it. Stop thinking, stop overreacting, stop coming up with excuses. Get a camera, get your phone, I don't care. Go outside to the park, sit down in a bench.
Don't fracture your fingers.
Don't break your fingers, but just record whatever messages you want to record. If you have a company, this is like, come on, you should know this by now. Talk about your company, your services, your things. You don't need companies like ours to go out there and do this stuff. But if you want to hire us, the number's right. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the bottom line is record. Hit that button. Get it going. And for us, this time around, we're done.
Yes,
Right?
we are.
Catch you on the next one.
Will do.
All right. Toodaloo.